Look at all this loot! Pigeon, none for you! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and while I am a shameless fan of getting free stuff, I am a bigger fan of being able to support the really innovative and interesting designers that exist in the Nerf hobby, and so I am very happy to have acquired a Desert Pigeon by MHP Arms, Mr. Heathpants, powered by Flywheel the World. This thing is just neat. I've wanted one since I first saw them, and finally got around to getting one. Obviously got it made in my colors. I am tempted to now print my own in the reverse colors, just so I can have a matching set, an inverted set. I think that would be pretty cool, but I really like how this one came out in these colors. Lots of orange on it, which is good, because this is, as you can see, a particularly realistic looking blaster. If you had this in all black, or in gunmetal, or in, you know, silver of some kind, it would look remarkably like a real firearm, which is somewhat dangerous. So I'm glad I got it in bright colors, and would definitely never wander down the street with it. It's just full of neat features, though. It's a brilliant design, and I really, really like it. It takes katana mags, and thus I believe it would also take Coat Duck's Vorpal mags, if you wanted it to not stick out. Katana mags obviously are longer than the grip, but you could print your own using Coat Duck's files and make it whatever length you wanted. So you can make it match exactly the length. You could also make it longer if you really wanted to, which would look a little silly, but it would be neat. The trigger guard here is the mag release, which is neat in that you can release the magazine, you know, one-handed and just drop the mag. The magazines are quite loose, so they will fall out quite easily. The downside is it is a fairly temperamental. It doesn't take much to release it, and if you've got, the trigger well is a little bit small, so if you've got large hands, or if you try to wear gloves, there is an awkward chance that just by trying to get your finger into the trigger well, you're going to release your magazine, which, not sure that's such a great feature, but I'm not sure how difficult it would have been to put, you know, a mag release somewhere else that didn't have that problem. It probably would have been considerably more complicated, more moving parts anyway. But even with my large hands, if I don't wear gloves, the trigger guard is not too small. So that is just neat. It also does have a moving slide, which acts as the jam door. So you can get to those tiny little Flywheel the World flywheels in the cage and the top of the magazine if something gets jammed. It does have a slide lock right where it would really have a slide lock. So that is wickedly cool. The wires on the inside are getting... I haven't mastered the getting a battery into this magwell down here quite right so that the wires don't interfere, but you can. So that's neat. Jam door from a moving slide is just a really cool idea. Other than that, the slide doesn't have to move. It fires just by pulling the trigger. It's a dual stage trigger, and it is flywheel, so a partial trigger pull revs up the flywheel, and then a full trigger pull pushes the darts in. And it's got powerful enough motors, high enough torque motors, since it's a 3S, and I think they're Rhinos in there right now. They'll spin up as fast as you can pull the trigger, so you don't have to wait. After pulling the trigger, you can pretty much just pull it, and it will fire as fast as you can go. It's semi-automatic, which is fantastic for a sidearm. And yeah, getting the battery in and out is the one part that is a little bit squiffy. I would have made a removable battery door if I were designing it, but they opted not to go that way. I'm sure they had a good reason. Probably size. This thing is very minimalist, and I've never actually opened it up to see how it all works, or I have, but I really wasn't supposed to have. You get the battery out by taking out 2 screws here at the top. I only have one of them in at the moment. Or at least I think that's how you're supposed to get it out. Anyway, you can then get to the batteries, or the battery on the inside. And it will fit a fairly large 3S battery. I have a smaller one than is actually necessary. It will actually fit a larger 3S LiPo than I have put in here. Just because this was the one that I had, and I knew I would be able to get it in there, because like I said, I have not mastered the art of getting the batteries in here quite perfectly. There's some way to wrap the cables, and I think I've technically got it wrong. But it operates using an Omron switch, a full Omron switch. They managed to fit one of those in there somehow, which is why it can handle the 3S without a problem. The pusher mech is mechanical, and just pushes a dart down into the flywheels, and they fire out. It does come with a barrel that helps guide it a little bit. Though I don't know it's strictly necessary. Let's see if I can get this thing back together. Oh, there we go. All back together. Absolutely lovely. I have not gone searching for a holster for it. It will fit in the universal holsters that I already have, but I'd like to get one that's a little more specific to it. I don't know if it will actually fit in a holster designed for a Desert Eagle, or if it's obviously bigger. But I don't know how much bigger. I'm tempted to look into those. But I really, really like it. This I would probably use as my sidearm if I were running a sniper loadout, running either my long shot or my prophecy or my caliburns, because they would take the same magazines. I have the mag adapter that would allow me to run these magazines, so I don't have very many of them. But at the very least, they take the same ammunition. And I love it when your long arm and your sidearm take the same ammunition. I just think that's a really neat feature in these sorts of things. And so having them both take half darts would be great. The fact that it's semi-automatic is lovely, because if somebody sneaks up on you when you're in cover or playing as a sniper, you don't want to shoot them with your caliburn or your fully kitted out long shot at point blank range, because that's gonna hurt. Whereas this thing fires right around 100 FPS, which isn't stellar or amazing, but for close range stuff, that's got plenty of zip to it. That's going to be hard to dodge. It's not the most accurate thing, because half darts and flywheels don't play beautifully together. I can't really give you a range estimate because it's currently snowing and I don't want to lose all my darts. But it will definitely do the job of a quick sidearm, especially since it's semi-automatic and you can just squeeze off a couple of rounds real quick. So yeah, this is super cool. I love these kinds of innovations. The whole design, build from the ground up kind of design. I need to make his the Uzi one, the whatever it's called. I don't know, and I should. But I really like that one too, because it's full auto. And I'd like to have the semi-auto and the full auto versions. And I have the files, I just need to get around to bringing them. But I went ahead and got this one printed for me, just so that I knew it would be correct. Anyway, there you have it, the Desert Pigeon by MHP Arms. Absolutely love it. Looking forward to running it. Hopefully I'll get to run it at some of the events this summer. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.